Welcome to the Fandemic. This is a podcast that celebrates all the things that we feel are awesome in hopes of spreading our fandom to you.
We're the only pandemic you want to catch.
That is correct. We are going to give you our fandoms. I love it. In Lone Star, I go through the best bad reviews that I can find based on title alone. In Revenge of the Nerds, we tell the stories that could have happened before and after your favorite movies, TV shows, and so much more. In the Fandemic, we look at the supporting cast of properties we adore, tribute our favorite actors, movies. For it's been a while, we just catch up on everything and so much more. I have interesting conversations with amazing people monthly. I'm the self-proclaimed emperor of awesome, Bradley Butin, and this is the unverified twin of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the eyebrows, the unverified twin of Dave Bautista in the head wrinkles.
But I got more hair.
I actually the kids told me I have to grow my hair back now since it's after my birthday. So,
Fair.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, winter's coming up. We can do that. But we can't forget about you being the unverified twin of one Shamar Moore in the nipples.
And the only thing I can cover Shamar Moore's unverified twin nipples is the Batman.
The Batman. I'm Batman. How you doing, man?
What's going on? My name is Brian S. Dennis with S stands for this week. Hu Yang, and we'll get more to that in a minute.
Oh, I sure we will.
But tag team partner, before we get there, we got to talk about one of the greatest things that has happened this week. And I'm actually going to steal a little bit of time. So normally where we end the podcast, we talk about our Better Than Us Human of the Week. Well, you know, as I was going through, who honestly could be the Better Than Us Human of this week? And instead of waiting till the end, because I want to start at the beginning, my Better Than Us Human of the Week is my brother from another, my tag team partner, my podcast bestie, who just had a birthday, Mr. Bradley Butin. So how goes it, my friend?
Man, pretty good. It was. I actually took a little bit of time off this weekend and the weekend before. Well deserved. I didn't really do much. I played some Baldur's Gate 3. I'll get into that here shortly. And other than that, man, I just need just a little bit of me time.
Hey.
I was able to get my kid because my Better Than Us human is the daughter that I share the same birthday with.
Right.
Anna just turned 14, and man, she's such a sweet kid. You know, I remember what I was like at 14, and
I do too. And it was a scary story.
Exactly. And I look at my 14-year-old daughter here, and I'm like, okay, I have to give. I should actually tag team this out with her mom, my ex-wife, Candy, because Candy is doing such a fantastic job with the kids.
Hey.
Oh, and a cameo.
Speaking of which, I saw the eyes dart.
What you doing, kiddo? She's watching Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, poor thing.
Good show.
Yeah.
And I don't get why you don't like it.
Do you want to talk to Brian?
Have you watched the? Okay, yeah.
Put them down.
No, there's nowhere to put them. Why did you just throw my ruffles?
I threw the ruffles.
Oh
no! That's in a bag.
Oh no!
These are new headphones.
No, they're not.
Well, you actually put them on me right then.
Hi, Princess Leia.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Did I hear you say you were watching Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
Hey, ask your dad, can you watch The Wire? That's a really good show.
Can you watch The Wire?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's better than Grey's Anatomy. It's much better than Grey's Anatomy.
I think that's a good idea. I think we need to introduce her. You know, actually, that might be a good idea for. We'll come up with a show that you're for your homework, and then you have to tell us what your thoughts are.
Yes.
Every week.
I have enough homework as it is.
Oh, but this is fun homework.
None.
Oh, you'll like The Wire though. You'll just it's
Grey's Anatomy is better.
No, it's kind of like Grey's. They make friends.
That's your mother talking.
It's just like Grey's Anatomy.
All right, tell Brian.
They make friends.
It's absolutely
they are pharmacists. They have lots of pharmacists.
That's
so tell your dad.
Doctor.
There's some doctors, all right, but it's really more of a
named
pharmaceutical.
Leah? Is there a girl that has the L in her name?
Oh,
An
I
L?
bet you there's a few because this is a hell of a show. All right, so let me talk to your dad. Bye bye.
How about this? I'll watch that if you let me watch Nun 2. I'll watch that if you let me watch
I told you have to watch Nun 1 before Nun 2.
Okay, so then I'm not watching Wire.
Give me the headphones.
No.
Tell Brian bye.
Bye bye. Hey.
Bye bye.
Honey, I need him.
Oh.
Wow. And then she tries to bite me.
So I broke it down. She asked whether there are any doctors in the Wire, and I point out there might be a few doctors. There's a lot of pharmacists. There's a lot of pharmacists.
Yes, that is accurate. And technically, a pharmacist is a doctor. So
right.
There are
a lot of entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quite beat it. Yeah. So I actually started rewatching The Wire the other day. So I forgot how gritty and great the show is. So it was so apropos what we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get there, sir, I think we need to talk about what our movie and shows of the weeks are.
Yes, absolutely. Let's what do we got? Why don't you go ahead and start?
Okay, I'm going to give my movie of the week, and then I think we might be in line for some similar shows of the week. So my movie of the week actually is, again, going back to the Peacock Network. I actually watched another wrestling documentary, and this one was about Kurt Angle called Angle. Really, really good. Not quite as good as the Cody Rhodes documentary. This had a lot of darker subject matter, but it just shows you just how he as a professional wrestler was always depicted as a badass, but just this guy like straight up and down. I would not want to run into Kurt Angle in a dark alley or a lit alley or just a happy alley. Just me and Kurt wouldn't. I just feel like I would never want to do anything back alley with Kurt. And we'll move forward. Yeah, just.
What were you talking about, The Wire?
Yeah. There's some of that. There's definitely some of that. All right, sir. As far as why don't you give me your movie of the week, and I'm curious what both of our shows of the weeks are.
My movie of the week is Equalizer 3.
Did it hold up?
So, okay, here's the thing. I loved Equalizer 1.
Yep.
I can't remember any of Equalizer 2.
It's a forgettable movie. It's not a bad movie.
Right.
It's one of those kind of like it's one of those that honestly, if you do recall anything about it, it is a complete paint by like all the quote unquote twist at the end. If you've ever seen any like spy government based movie, you knew what was gonna happen. But it was not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
Especially for what the series is. Like it doesn't have to be super memorable. Okay, here it is. You need Denzel Washington, cool sets, him killing people in really cool ways.
Okay.
And you check all the boxes. Equalizer 3, I actually really enjoyed.
Gotcha.
It had some super cool kill scenes. It's like it was almost like, when you get the cool combo in a video game,
sure.
And and you can do those kills. It was like that, man. And
perfect.
And it's Denzel Washington. And Denzel Washington is just gonna slay whatever he does. And this was no exception. I'm sorry I don't remember Equalizer 2. Yes, I will at some point do all three of them in a row in the same day. I will binge them all. But today is not that day. But definitely go watch Equalizer 3. Let me know when you want to go watch it, dude, because I would love to see it again.
A minute. Okay, fantastic. And then as far as show of the week, I was going to tell you mine, I'm curious if yours is the same, but Ahsoka. Especially this past week's Ahsoka, and I know Ahsoka's good, or any other thing that we typically binge on the plus, on the D plus. By the way, D plus sounds like a movie that possibly would be in the box that you would slowly Disney. There may be a reason why they're not a big fan of me called the D plus. All right, yes, it's just especially for Mickey Mouse. Look, it's these just jokes, folks. Ha ha he he. But with that being said, I always, whenever we binge anything, She-Hulk, not Anakin, Obi-Wan, any of those things, Secret
Oh,
Invasion.
we're
I always,
binging Anakin.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Get
I
to
know it's a good
Mustafar.
episode.
Get to Mustafar.
I know it's a great episode when at about between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning, I get a text from you, go, dude, did you watch it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so Wednesday morning when I got that text alone, I gotta make space to check up on it, and we'll delve into that. But my show of the week is, as it has been like the last 3 weeks, has been Ahsoka.
Yeah, we'll go in a little bit deeper into Ahsoka here shortly. That's gonna be one of our topics of the night. Other than that, so and yeah, mine is absolutely Ahsoka, but I do want to bring in two honorable mentions. One, because we haven't talked about it and we had so many high praises for it. That one is Lioness.
Yes,
It ended season 1. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a season 2. It was fantastic.
yes.
And Big Brother. I am a big fan of Big Brother. Okay, I will talk Big Brother with anybody. I have my favorites. I have my not favorites. I kind of fell off for a little while, but then I kind of got back on it this last week. Those are my shows of the week. Brian, do you have any games or any or not movies, but restaurants or any other thing you want to shout out?
I've not had a chance to really check up on all this. Work has kept me incredibly busy the past few weeks, but yeah. But again, just really digging it. I got to give another quick shout out to Kelly Madison, my barber, your barber, as always. If he can make this mug look halfway presentable, as always, I appreciate the help because I need as much help as possible. Because when in doubt, I scare small children.
Yeah.
I also scare large children. I scare children of all sizes. So
I
thank
am
you, Kelly, for
debating.
keeping me hooked up. Yes.
So I am actually rocking the handlebars,
I'm kind of digging it.
And for one, Kaylee says she's going to cut them off in my sleep. However, the big hole with that is that she falls asleep before me and I wake up before her.
There you go.
I don't know.
Okay.
However, do I trim down the beard and just let the handlebars go, or do I just let it all go?
I'm thinking I'm kind of digging the Snidely Whiplash, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe indulge on the handlebars a little bit. Now here's the deal. If you really want to go handlebars, there's, I like it with the strong beard. The handlebars are not as prominent because you got the rest of the beard going. So if you really want to go it, I say you go full on. If you're gonna go handlebars, if you really want to rock, old school fabulous, I say you do the handlebars plus mutton chop combo.
Dude, I think we may have a winner there, man. I think this may happen.
Saying, like at that point, I just feel like at any time you would show up in the place, there was just a random train track with someone tied to it.
Right.
Just because you're there. Just in the,
and another redneck is their trailer.
Yeah. But just like in the middle of a lake, there just be train tracks for no reason because you're there and through always be in black and white.
Yeah.
And you just go, yeah, the whole deal. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. So that's 100%. So I'm saying we're gonna keep the handlebars, also go straight up mutton chops, man. And
so I think I may be making a trip down to Kelly. I'll probably be getting him to shape everything up, and we're gonna let him.
Maybe we'll coordinate it. If you go mutton chops, I might go mutton chops.
All right.
Maybe I'll go mutton chops.
Is that okay? So here's the thing: if I don't have a beard, I don't have a chin.
Okay, all right.
So I don't know. We'll you know what?
Dude, if I don't have a chin, not a chin. If I don't have a beard, I have such a baby face. It's sad. It's really sad. I look like I'm 9 years old again, which, given the things that come out of my mouth, becomes really problematic. Becomes really at this point, someone's like, he really needs an adult. By the way,
but also makes the box in your parents' bedroom sound a little bit better.
It's a little bit like that because I didn't really know what it was. Hee hee ha ha. Yeah. Versus then it's go. Oh yeah, these going to do you boo boo. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right. So that's you got any childish for yourself beyond what we already talked about.
Yes, I got to talk a little bit about Baldur's Gate 3. So I got my wife was kind of
the things that also sound like they're in the box under the bed. Go for it, sir.
There's a lot in that box. Again, you can find a lot of that. It's a digital only game. You can't buy a physical copy of the game, actually. And I guess a lot of games are going that way. Fantastic game. it's like playing D&D with dice rolls and everything, and the way that they do it is flawless. I do have a couple of gripes, but nothing too bad. My biggest thing is like you as you build your party, instead of picking on something, you accidentally like start talking to one of your companions, and it's just like, all right, dude, we already said this, But other than that, man, go get the game. It's 4 out of 5 beardies, 100%.
Nice.
All right, Brian. We
Yes,
know
sir.
what part of the topic is today. What is the rest of the topic?
Well, we are living in a world where we're seeing more and more reboots. By the way, just real quick back online is I think again we're gonna get a season 2, and I think it ended the way it needed to absolutely end because we had mission accomplished, but it did a great job establishing what happens after the mission and where does that lioness go, that team, that QRF, and as you can imagine, again, not to spoil the entire episode, the season, given what happens in that final episode of this season, the story is not done. You absolutely know the story is not done. But what we're going to talk about today, again, because we live in a world with so many reboots, and we've been fortunate enough to see a couple movies, let's say like Transformers, Rise of the Beast, that bring up, hey, there may be some actually good reboots and remakes. We've seen some really good things that have been coming down the pike. We decided we'll talk about, and we haven't done one of our countdowns in quite a while. We're going to do a countdown of our top 5 shows, movies, whatever that are out there for reboot. We know that the DCU is going to be rebooting. They really do. I got one more for you, so before I hop too much into this. So, Flash was released on HBO, so I finally got a chance to catch up to it. Now, you gave me your reviews, and actually, a quick shout out. There's a place over in the middle of Des Moines called Louis Wine Dive, and I went there, and I actually one of the servers there mentioned I had just seen The Flash when we talked about it and gave me their 2 bits on it. I got to give you one. I know a lot of people really didn't like it. I'm about to say this. I actually liked it.
Yeah.
Now, the ending, it got weak at the end. They need a better resolution for the overall miss, but really up until the battle, and really what happens right after the battle, that's where really the CGI is where they lost it. That wasn't it. But I gotta say, the end of it, not the extra scene, that they could have just completely left that out. They really could have. Jason Momoa, I hope you got paid well.
Yeah.
But the end of it, again, spoiler alert, where we had the now who, he reclaimed himself from the bat nipples. He did. The bit with Clooney at the very end, I really dug that. Now, we know they're getting a reboot. Ezra Miller will probably never see you again. They could have, like you said, they definitely could have started off by, just giving us a completely new Flash, those things. But
it should have been Grant Gustin.
But at the same time, which possibly that's where we're going. But the way they handled it, they did have a decent job. It's always hard to pull off a multiverse. The CGI, except for all the money DC has, some of the special effects, and it's almost like they decided, you know what, let's just bring it down. And the last thing is, reading a lot of articles, there was a lot of controversy of how they handled people who have passed on, like Adam West and Christopher Reeve, and their identities, their voices. This goes to all the AI stuff that's going on with the labor unions right now. But overall, for a one and done kind of film, I gotta give it, like, if we did an 8 out of 10, if we did a 1 to 10 scale, I gotta give it an 8. It wasn't horrible. I liked it better than Wonder Woman 84. So I thought it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah, man, good. I'm glad you liked it, dude. I like it too. I haven't watched it on Max yet because I've just been kind of into some other things, but cool. All right, with that being said, we're going to be talking about Ahsoka and some TV reboots.
Let's do the reboots.
And if we have time, we'll do some Am I the Assholes?
Gotcha.
All right.
Well, the answer to it for you is you are not.
Oh,
you are not.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
right, sir.
Here's the music. right. So let's get into our thoughts on Ahsoka
Sir.
so far. We were talking a little bit about that in our show of the week and everything. Man, first of all, right now we're pretty much getting the another season of Rebels almost,
Yep.
highly into Ahsoka, and I think what they're doing is Ahsoka is tied to these Rebels. For one,
Yes.
everybody likes them, and two,
Yep.
they're not in the original trilogy. They're not in the sequel trilogies,
Right.
except for like a ghost cameo, but man, the way that they're doing this, and I have some thoughts too, but I want to hear what you think so far of episodes 1, 2, 3, 4. We are halfway through the season.
Right.
We're
Right.
getting 8 episodes. So far, we've gotten live action Hera, which is actually
Yes.
Ewan McGregor's wife.
Yes.
We got live action Sabine.
Some of us may know her as Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and the sequel that's coming out here fairly shortly.
Yes.
Yes. So, by the way, before we get too much into it, the cast been great as far as quality act, and really, this is a very strong female led show.
Yeah.
Really, the only prominent male we've seen in the show has been Ray Stevenson, R.I.P. But again, just really love the content of it. But definitely, you have people who who really are actors that they love this type of stuff. Rosario Dawson has said in many interviews she grew up a Trekkie, and this has now let her dive into the world of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Hera, she's married in reality to Ewan McGregor, or some of us may know him as Obi-Wan.
Hello there.
Yes, all the things there, and it's just played out really well. So my initial thoughts on, again, episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 is this is really up there, really with, in my opinion, through the first 4 episodes, up there with Obi-Wan, that it really gives you a rich advancement of the universe. So we're having things, we'd always seen the Jedi's really presented as these mystical entities, these shamans, these monks, these priests. Well, the idea of it is, and we always see how maybe the other side of that always just been the dark side of the Force. They really expanded that now, honestly, for another show that's going on out there, is we now have the discovery of witches and what that actually means. And again, and this is really what I think when Star Wars is hitting on all cylinders, it has a good mixture of the political side of it, which when they came out with episodes 1, 2, and 3, they leaned them a little too hard into that. If you want, we just want to see some lightsaber fights. And then, obviously we want to see the space battles. We want to see, basically the samurais with laser swords. We want to see all those things. And it really does a great job of intermixing that. And again, there will be spoilers. We have the integration of a Mandalorian Padawan. Come on now. Come on, son. There's my Dr. Dre drop of the day. But right there, I mean, that right there is with Sabine's character that you see, and again, the different pieces. And before I finish my real quick impressions, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, just they haven't missed. They don't miss. They have not missed yet, which again makes me want to cry a little bit more for Andor. But this has really been extremely well done, the first 4 episodes.
Yeah, and it takes us to the world between worlds. So I have a theory. All right. So I mean, you've watched all of Rebels, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a lot of live action to animated parts of the two. I mean, you don't have to look too hard on the YouTubes or anything like that to find the people doing the comparisons. However, with Thrawn has a portal to the world between worlds,
right,
with Ezra. And Ahsoka is in the world between worlds.
Yes.
I think that she's going to be presented a choice. She's going to be presented a choice of saving Anakin or saving Ezra. And if she saves Anakin, everything never happens. From the original trilogy to the sequel trilogy. But she ends up choosing Ezra because because the future is always in motion.
Right.
To quote Yoda, And so I think that because she everything that she knows she's done, she's known she has to do the growing up that she did, and if she would go back to change things,
Right.
whatever. But I think that she's going to be presented that choice.
So let's also drop this in here as well. So again, this was makes again so much of what they're doing with bringing Star Wars to the D plus, the Disney Plus series, is that again they're bringing in all the things from their recent and more distant past, and you get those fantastic, quick drops of folks. When we got to actual, we got again sort of what they can do with probably the most iconic character really in Star Wars is Darth Vader. I mean, some people may go Luke, some people may go Yoda, but to me, it's always been Darth. For most people, it's Darth Vader's basically Batman of Star Wars. Okay,
Yeah.
And what they were able to do with Obi-Wan, they gave us that fantastic battle between him and Vader, including having James Earl Jones voice Vader, but then when the mask is broken, to give us a peek of Hayden Christensen as Anakin / Vader. And then this last week, which is why you text me at 6:00 in the morning, which I didn't text you late in the afternoon, just going again, I geeked out so much. It was maybe 30 seconds, but it was a really cool 30 seconds. That's all they needed. They have, again, so ladies and gentlemen, you've not seen, again, there will be spoilers. When he mentions Anakin, we actually get Anakin, but we get actually Hayden Christensen as Anakin in the world between worlds talking to Ahsoka. And and then they did what you should do. They had the real quick screen wipe, end of episode, mic drop, see me next week.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so Tuesday at 9:00, I'm right here. I'm here for it.
Yeah. So do you think we're gonna get Ezra, our first Ezra and our first Thrawn?
Yes.
Next week?
We have to. Okay. Because again, like you said, now we're at the middle part of the season. And again, I think we'll get more Thrawn than Ezra, to tell you the truth. But I think we will get some, not only more references, actually the sighting of them, because then as we build for the second half of the season, of the season for, again, I hope it will be more than one season of the show, but absolutely it's time to get to that part. And then we'll start also and then I think what's really going to be interesting is we get to see Sabine have to deal with her choice, because they almost lost me. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I watched episode 4, when, again, not to give too many spoilers, but when Sabine makes the choice that she makes, I almost go, really? Like, because again, you know something's up with Ahsoka, but you know she's not done after 4 episodes. But at the same time, you go, I'm like, at this point they played on the naivete, but they're giving more the fact that she is a Mandalorian. Like, this is like Mandalorians fight, and for her just to make the choice she made, which is really tantamount to surrender, it just was like, I don't know if a Mando would do this, but then they take her and all the things that happen, and they give us Anakin. So that's like, okay, I trust y'all. You're going to get me where I want to go with this.
Yeah, so I took that scene as not surrender, but getting prepared. So I think so I took it as like Sabine knows Ahsoka's going to find her way to her.
Okay.
And I took it as like, and maybe there's foreshadowing, maybe it's just me hopeful wishing or whatever, but I took it as like, okay, you're going to take me where I want to go. You're falling right into my trap because I am a Mandalorian. And you know what? Like, okay, I mean, I could freak you all out. I mean, I psyched out Shin with my force push too.
The
flamethrower spray, which was beautiful, by the way.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and again, just seeing her, again, her evolution, and knowing, again, you've got to tie in the Rebels, and just give so much. Again, we talked a little bit about comparing this to maybe the Flash. I mean, the cinematography has just been beautiful, and that's always been, even going back to the 70s, that's always been one of the strengths of Star Wars. That it's always a beautiful, whether we're talking a movie, we're talking a cartoon, we're talking a live action show, it has just been a beautiful, beautiful product. And Ahsoka's, I mean, just from the makeup of Ahsoka and Hera to the shots to, again, the lightsaber, and they've done such a great job really, and we saw from episode 1 forward of really even expanding upon what a lightsaber is. I don't know about you. When I was a kid, if you got a lightsaber at home, you got the little horrible plastic thing that you could shake and it would extend out the sword, and then it would light up for about 2 hours.
Or
Then
you
that
got
would
a
be it.
stick that you paint in a color.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But if you could basically bribe you, which I did for Christmas, when Mom wanted a lightsaber, and I got this thing that I, by the way, was broken before the 26th of December, because the way you would extend the lightsaber was you would shake it, and then the little plastic would extend out to the length of the sword. Well, if you did it too many times, it would just break the mechanism.
Yeah.
Anyway, with all those things, but it was a sword. It was a sword. So now we've seen between Darth Maul and Ahsoka and all the and Kylo Ren, and just all the different ways that the lightsaber as weaponry can really be created. Again, this keeps people just all these things. And the last thing before I hush on this one is, I never will forget, and episode 1 has some challenges, but the thing that I will never forget was seeing Darth Maul holding the lightsaber, and then you see the actual sword, the blade, cut out of both ends of the hilt, and I go, what? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
And so at that point, all due respect to Qui-Gon, hey, I was rooting for Darth Maul.
I mean, he's pretty horny.
Yeah. It's almost like if he was shrunk down. You may find him in a box under the bed, and you slowly pull it out. Slowly. Because you know what? When you're that horny, you might hurt yourself. All right.
And he got everything he owns at the mall for half off. All right, with that, I think that's enough about talking about Ahsoka. We are not done talking about Ahsoka.
No.
We'll do a longer episode when the season is done. Let's move on to our main topic of the day.
Yes, sir.
Which is
dun, dun, dun.
some TV shows that we think would be really cool now if they were rebooted.
Yes.
And I got 5, and then I got a couple of honorable mentions.
Same.
And okay, cool. So you know what? Let's just do one at a time. Let's go over my honorable. You want to do your honorable mentions first?
Yeah, I'll go through my honorable. I'll just do mine as a list real quick. Okay. So again, Bradley and I never ever talk about these things beforehand.
Except for one of these. I think we probably one of them we did talk about
a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but possibly what we'll do, and I'm not even sure if I even include on the list. So here's my honorable mention. I had a couple thoughts that if I was a casting agent, who I even would do these. So here's my honorable. I've got 5 of them, but I'll be quick. Is first off, the first one that popped in my head is Alf. I grew up loving Alf. You know, Gordon Shumway from the planet Melmac, who is on his quest to eat cats. By the way, do you remember what ALF stands for, Bradley? That's an acronym. I do not. Alien life form. That's where they get the ALF form. Yes, ALF. Sound like UFO. So ALF. Now here's another one. You remember the show Hunter? It was a TV cop show in the late 80s. Came on like on Saturday night. I want Hunter, but check this. I would recast. Obviously, I'm going to recast the person that played Hunter. I was thinking about, what about DDP as Hunter? Dude, I'm in for that. I'm all for some Diamond Dallas Page. That Gristle kind of, and he's also kind of funny while being Gristle. Yeah. All right. Next up, the greatest American hero. Hang on a second. Yep. Yeah. What? You're interrupting. You're doing another cameo. Okay. What's your favorite TV show other than Grey's Anatomy right now?
Gilmore Girls or H2O.
I know. Have you not shown her Buffy?
You know what? Your homework. You need to watch the very first episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. All right, yes. Kiddo. Let us get. All right, what's your question?
I want to tell you something.
What's your question?
Do you know the Mercy West doctors finally came to Seattle Grace?
Okay. All right. Enough of the Grey's Anatomy talk.
Also, one more thing. Jackson, Reed, Charles, and April have all came onto the show now. Me and Mommy just finished a new episode, and we're like 2 minutes in, and all of them are out. No. Out.
You,
the best show ever.
Ouch.
You can see little pieces of your soul die the more she talks about Grey's Anatomy.
Your finger down.
All right, Leia, go. We're talking.
Okay, well, I'm
Oh,
gonna go
wow.
at least like 2 or 3 more of these.
Okay, love you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh wow. First off, she is fantastic, but yes, you hey, to each their own, my friend. To each their own. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So finish up my my quick hit on the honorable mentions. Greatest American Hero from the 70s, where the guy finds the red suit, but has no idea how to operate it. I always loved that one. I thought Michael Cera, we haven't seen him since in a hot minute.
Oh, dude. Well, he's in Barbie.
True, but he would make a great just, oh wow, I can fly. Okay. Head of the class, check this. I'm proud of this one. Head of the class. But instead of Howard Hessman, we recast it as Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele. But check it, instead of it being Keegan Michael Key, he plays it as Mr. Garvey, the substitute teacher with the Aaron and all like that. He becomes the teacher of a talented and gifted. So I'm saying this would be a completely just similar to SNL. We've had like the Coneheads and things.
Yeah.
You give Mr. Garvey a show, but you really have head of the class. All right, and my very last one, the Internal Nerd, but I think we got to do this one as a comedy. So I love the X-Files, as I'm sure you do as well. But we're going to do the X-File and make it a little funnier. And here's going to play our X-File agents. So the new Fox Mulder will be Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
And the new and his partner will be none other than Leslie Jones from Saturday Night Live. Could you imagine Bruce Campbell,
Yes.
Leslie Jones out there solving crime? And they ain't gonna be funnier in hell, but they actually, I think you could do this kind of semi-serious as well with the X-Files. So that was and I went more into it, I probably should have, but those are my honorable mentions. Alf, Hunter, Greatest American Hero, Head of the Class, and the X-Files.
Man, because I only have 2 that I put in my honorable mentions.
All good, man.
I went straight for the classic 80s Knight Rider.
I thought about that.
You know, I just think like maybe now because cars pretty much do talk, I think now there would be a little bit more to it than there was back in the 80s. I think they could do a lot. I didn't really think about anybody that could to take over the Hoff's spot. But I mean, maybe honestly, oh gosh, who's Gibbs in NCIS? Mark Harmon. Mark Harmon, do an older version.
Older version. Love it.
Or you know what? Actually, you know what? Shamar Moore.
Of course.
As the Knight Rider.
But you'd have to make Kid a woman, give Kid a female personality.
Yeah.
And he called Kid Baby Girl.
Oh, yeah. And it has to be voiced by the girl that was in I can't think of her name in Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah, Kristen Van Ness, who played Penelope. Yes. By the way, could you imagine if real quick, I just thought
you're good.
If you are a car company and this was going to be a thing, you should beat down the door that I think the actual kit was a Pontiac
Trans Am.
There it is, right?
1985.
But could you imagine if you had that, if you just said, hey, we're running a special that the first, 5,000 new Trans Ams we sell get like an autographed photo of Shamar Moore or did some event, the amount of people who would be beating down their door. And by the way, if Shamar Moore is not around, the unverified twin of his
in the nipples
would be willing
to
make a few appearances. I'd be a little tight on my schedule, but we could figure it out.
You know what? And I would even be the voice of Kit.
That would make it a little weird, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, baby.
Brian, let me see those nipples.
You know what? I've shown them for less. But anyway,
Pontiac would come back as a company with this.
Yes.
Pontiac would relaunch and everything.
And before y'all kill me in the comments, college was a dark time. Okay, hey, my hot pocket money had to come from someplace that don't judge me. All bodies are beautiful bodies. All right, D.
All right,
Okay,
I got
finish
one
off
more
the
honorable
Knight Rider, who's your
mention,
other honorable mention. All
and
right.
that's Airwolf, because
I almost did Airwolf.
man, Airwolf is just such a good concept, and I figure like right
Yes.
now with where we are
Yes.
political and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff, it would be cool. I mean, like a guy, a pilot of a top secret helicopter,
Copter.
pretty
Yes.
much kidnaps it, I guess, is
Yes.
the best way to, or steals it
Yes.
and does good with, you know, him and his team. It's like the A-Team, but in the air, you know, which
What if you made
A-Team
it
didn't make the list.
right? What if you made it a drone or something like that? Update a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then it could be like this really nerdy cat who gets to be the hero because he's got this little drone. He's got this drone helicopter that goes in and saves people. That would be really cool. Like he'd be like the bullied kid, but he's doing right. You know, again, it's still one from Quantum League. He's putting right what once went wrong. I dig the Airwolf. Again, it was right there. We think too much like it was right there. It was right there. I was pulled that one off. All right. Hey, why don't you keep it going and give me your top 5? We'll just keep it going on your end of it.
All right. So my top 5. So one, Bewitched. Let's bring back Bewitched, and let's get like someone like Dove Cameron or someone like Chloe Bennett, who was Quake and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's get someone like that in there as Samantha. And dude, like I think that'd be so cool. I remember watching reruns of Bewitched with my grandma during the summer and everything like that. And I think there's something that I think that they could tell some really good stories with Bewitched.
I had such a crush on Samantha from Bewitched. Like you couldn't even told me again.
I mean, it's what's in the box.
It was oh dude. And there would have been a point in time in my life, probably still work, if someone can just make the nose twinkle. I'm just like, whatever. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Nicole Kidman came close in the rebooted movie with Will Ferrell, but it needs to be a show. It got to be a TV show.
It doesn't need to be a show. They actually there was a Anthony Anderson actually did a game show for a while called Who's to Tell the Truth. And the premise of the show is you have 3 people who all have the same backstory, and one of them is telling the truth, the other 2 are liars, and these celebrities have to figure out who's like it'll be, hey, I invented, I don't know, dish soap or something, who knows? But one of them actually I was Tabitha on Bewitched. And they actually had the real, obviously because she's the one telling the truth, they had the real actress that played Tabitha, and who she's probably, I would guess, probably in her mid to late 50s at this point. So even bringing her back for little things like that. But yeah, absolutely, I'm down with it. So Airwolf and Bewitched again. Hey, of course, it was the 60s. Miniskirts was a thing, and Little Bitty Brian. That's kind of how I started to sometimes lay on the floor and slide my hand underneath my parents' bed and slowly pulled out the. Okay, we're getting into my trauma now. All right. Next up, sir. What else you got?
Max Headroom.
Almost, dude. We have been. I wonder if we're gonna get one together because we've been with between Airwolf and Max Headroom. We have been right there. We have been right there.
Max Headroom, you could tell this really cool, like anti-AI.
Yes.
I mean, like stories that would be relevant now.
Yes.
And honestly, you could even get the same guy to be him.
You could.
You could get the same. I can't think of the dude's in like almost every science fiction show.
Oh yeah, he was on like Eureka, all the things.
Dude, Eureka was an awesome show.
Eureka did not get a fair rant. It should
have it didn't. We you know what? We should do an episode on strictly sci-fi shows. And
it had also had the overlap between that and Warehouse 13. I mean, it was seriously set to be really good.
Oh, good. It was so good. Yes. But yes, Max Headroom. You could just tell so many cool stories with it. And like I said, I wouldn't even change the actor. I would even relate it back to the old series, and somehow things happen and gets turned back on and whatever.
I mean, that's the whole thing. You can totally do it. Like the tech isn't. The tech just gets turned off, and then, like you said, at some point they turn it back on. And Matt Frew is the guy who played Max Headroom.
That's right.
But I would just think it would be great, like you said, you turn it back on. Because think about it, and Max was very subversive for his time, and so now we're pretty much living in the Max Headroom time. So I think I would love to see Max Headroom back. All right, sir, next up.
All right, now this one, Renegade. Renegade. This had Lorenzo Lamas in it.
I have mixed feelings about Renegade.
I mean,
I got mixed feelings about it. No, the show was great.
Yeah.
The show was great. Here's why I got mixed feelings. Okay, they get into O'Brien's childhood trauma.
Okay.
So I love Mr. Renegade. So again, grew up in the South. It was hot, right? 'Cause the South is where we make heat. So my house didn't have central air, so there's air conditioning in 2 rooms in our house. The kitchen, obviously we cook there, and then my parents' bedroom. So I remember it was on Saturday. My dad was out of town, and Renegade was on syndication. You normally catch Renegade on a Saturday. I remember going to my mom's because it was just unbearably hot. And going, hey, can I hang out in here? My mom's a teacher, so you just doing lesson plans to read. Like, sure. I put on Renegade. My mom had never seen or heard of the show. She looks up for Renegade. She tells me to leave her room. She locks the door.
Oh no!
And
she found what's in the box.
I'm a curious individual, Brad. So I put my ear to the next show.
Lorenzo Lamas. Oh man! Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. Now is it from the Grease or is it from the, I mean, because you know what? I mean, dude could rock some long hair.
He could. He really could. Yeah.
All right. So let's make this a little bit better for you.
Please, if it's possible.
Let's gender swap the Renegade.
Okay. There we go. That would be great.
Gender swap him. And then we're going to turn this into, because I want to keep the Indian in there as well, but I want that to be the Renegade, and I want it to be the girl from Yellowstone. Jeez, I should have looked up her name. The wife of the wife of
the youngest son. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
She was my pick for Brave Star too.
I was just thinking if we're gonna, I was just thinking and again, not because I didn't prep for this. I was even thinking the lead from Prey. You remember the Predator?
Oh yeah.
I thought she could do a great job.
Yeah.
Or if you really want to go for it, the from Lioness, the Asset.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's a lot of great options there.
So man, she better get Emmys.
Yes, or personally for our own reasons, we're gonna cast her on anything. What about Rhea Ripley?
We'll get to Rhea Ripley.
She's British, but who cares?
Oh, it's all right. It don't matter.
She's Australian. It's not even British. She's Australian.
Nobody is listening to her talk.
I have never wanted to be Dominic Mysterio so much. Like, dude, you get paid to hang out. All right,
Dirty Dom.
Yes, for real dirty. Yes, sir. All right, man. Next up.
So after Renegade, and we're not gonna, it's got a fine premise, so we're not even gonna change anything. Now here's one. I actually put 2 here because they were kind of similar shows, and I'd be good with either one of them. So I'm cheating a little bit, I guess. But Highway to Heaven and Touched by an Angel.
I just restarted watching Touched by an Angel, brother. I'm telling you, man. Yes.
The connection, man. The connection. Honestly, and I just think that both of those shows, the way that they're designed to just be a show that anybody can watch.
Yes.
And they're feel good shows. And
absolutely
we're missing a lot of those feel good shows now.
Right.
And I mean, especially
stay away from Seventh Heaven because that got creepy, but stay away from Seventh Heaven.
But we got Jessica Biel out of it. So I mean,
dude, and oh shoot, what's her name? The middle sister as well. I mean, Beverly. Can't think of her last name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we got her.
yeah. Again, another reason to be jealous of Justin Timberlake. Really?
I mean, he's bringing sexy back. What can we say?
Yeah. He goes, I married it. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah,
I never want to be Adam Sandler so much as in I pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Like, really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, my buddy could just lose the health insurance. Like, no, it's fine.
So who would you put in Highway to Heaven or Touched by an Angel?
You know what? So Highway to Heaven, just because I think just given some of the movies he's been doing lately, I think he does have some again, this is just because I think he does kind of lean maybe to being more of a you see him doing more religious or at least those heartwarming. I think Dennis Quaid, because he's done a few movies that are kind of those hallmarky
Yeah.
things there. So and again, I think he'd be a good fit. And as far as Touched by an Angel, I would actually, you know what, especially you know what, I would do like what is her name? She was in Reba. Joanna. She played the oldest daughter in Reba, and she does a lot of Hallmark movies.
Okay.
Have you ever Joanna Garcia? There, Joanna Garcia.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're
So
talking
yeah,
we're watching Young Sheldon right now, and Reba shows up a lot on that. So
yes. And again, speaking of watching Young Sheldon as well. I actually I think as the show goes on, I think I like Young Sheldon a little bit better than The Big Bang Theory.
I agree with you. I
Yes.
100% agree with you.
Yes, Big Bang started to get a little formulaic. I like come on, it's got Wallace Shawn, and every time I say it, you can't give me Wallace Shawn and Annie Potts. Come on now,
dude. And I mean, Annie Potts for one was in Ghostbusters,
right?
She was Janine in Ghostbusters. And
Yes.
Wallace Shawn, I mean,
It's
this is
inconceivable.
this is his best thing.
Inconceivable,
dude. Yes, so good. All right. Anyway, you know what? I was just thinking about Highway to Heaven. What if you got Michael Landon's daughter, who's actually in Yellowstone? She's Teeter in Yellowstone. That's Michael Landon's daughter.
Did not realize that.
Yes.
And Melissa
that just hit me just a minute ago.
You know what? What about Valerie Bertinelli? I've been watching Hot in Cleveland. She'd be a great fit for like Just Fine. You remember Valerie Bertinelli? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what to say? It's better with better. Okay.
All right. I got one more.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got one more, and then this one. So this is the cheating one because I kind of cheated. I texted Brian this one and been like, dude, let's do this. And that is VIP. All right, this was the Pamela Anderson TV show that we all watched for the plot and the really good acting and
here's
the great
one difference
effects.
between you and I. I actually did not watch it for Pam. I watched for Natalie Rattano, her partner with the really short hair. That's who I watched it for.
Yeah. So with this, I mean, Rhea Ripley is obviously the main person.
Yes.
The entire cast is going to be WWE. The entire cast.
You never put Becky Lynch in there,
right? You're just like, the WWE owns this, and they just
it
do
makes perfect sense.
And you know, people can come in and out, but it's completely done by WWE.
Yes. Of course, if they did like a Charlie's Angels, Trish Stratus would totally be the Bosley of that, you know. Yes. Absolutely. If they're gonna do it, you gotta bring back Sasha. You gotta give me Sasha Banks back, like for real. Like,
is it gonna happen? I know I keep on hearing more. I hope so.
Yeah,
she was my favorite. She was my favorite in there, and she's a Mandalorian, so we know she can handle it.
Absolutely. So I really think it'll be there. I also think potentially maybe we'll get, and if we get Sasha back, we hopefully will get Trinity, who is actually married to Jimmy Uso. So maybe we get her back as well. So I would love to see that. All right.
There's my 5 and my honorable mentions. All right, Brian, it is your turn.
All right, sir.
What you got from me.
All right. So with most of these, I have like my thoughts on who will play it. My number 5 though, because I just really want this done and done well, because they've tried to remake it a couple times and the reboots have fallen flat. But I want a really good Thundercats reboot, just because. Are you going live action, or are you going to keep this animated? I still want to be animated, but I just want it done well. I just really want it done well. All right. So beyond everything else is live action. So up first, we've got the Misfits of Science.
That almost made my list. So I was so close.
So with the Misfits of Science, the reboot to me would be really easy. Courtney Cox was in the original series. You bring her back. Yes, she played the teenager with the telekinetic abilities.
Okay.
So you bring her back and you make her the leader. All right. And she's got a new group of misfits. So she's played the same character. It's been 30-ish years. You bring her back. She's the leader. So she's how we do Misfits of Science. Number 2, Mantis. I mentioned Mantis before. So Mantis before, now it wasn't created before Black Panther, but before Black Panther, before Luke Cage, the first African-American themed hero sci-fi show was Mantis. It starred Carl Lumbly, and for those of you that have watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, he actually plays the original African-American Captain America, Isaiah, who's jailed. So by the way, real quick plug, they're actually, for those of you that have the Max app for shows, there's actually a really cool short docuseries called "See It Loud," which is a play on James Brown's song "Say It Loud." I'm Black and I'm Proud. This is "See It Loud," which talks about the history of African American television. And the 5th episode, Brad, is actually the history of African Americans in sci-fi and fantasy shows. So they got really cool clips from Nichelle Nichols as Lieutenant Uhura.
Nice.
Carl Lumley does a lot of stuff talking about Mantis. They definitely obviously get into Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. But a lot of those things, and I didn't actually know that was a short-lived Black Panther cartoon that was on BET.
Really?
And Jaimin Hunsu actually voiced T'Challa, but Kerry Washington voiced Shuri. I was like, wow. So that was really cool.
You know exactly by those two names alone, you know exactly when it came out.
Yes, it's like, dude, I gotta find that.
Perfect casting too. I don't know why that.
So hopefully that shows up on maybe Disney Plus since it's a Disney property. But
and I don't understand how I did not know this.
Yes, so I want to bring back Mantis. The premise of Mantis is, and I think it's very timely, is the premise of Mantis that you have this billionaire genius who actually gets shot by police because his mistaken identity. He's paralyzed due to getting shot in the back. So he creates an exosuit so he can walk. But then beyond that, he used the exosuit to become a superhero called Mantis. So I think we're going to redo Mantis. And this one, you got to give me Donald Glover. You know, we saw him a little bit in Across the Spider-Verse as the Prowler. I love Atlanta, one of the best shows out there. Give me Donald Glover as that, because you can make him younger. He's a genius. Donald Glover plays a super cool Black nerd. Let's do it. All right. Then number 2, Murder, She Wrote.
We're getting that.
I didn't know we're getting a Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, with Kathy Bates.
Really close casting then, because I was gonna do Murder, She Wrote with Melissa McCarthy.
Yep, Kathy Bates is signed on to do it's supposed to come out in 2024, I believe.
Dig it. Yeah. Now here's the deal, though. I would say that if she can't solve the case, she just starts hobbling people, call them a dirty birdie. I think that's what we need.
Yes.
And if it doesn't work out, do Melissa McCarthy. And then my last one, sir, my number 1, you almost put it on the list. It made my list. We're gonna reboot the A-Team.
Nice.
So here's my casting for the A-Team. So for the play Face, Ashton Kutcher.
Oh.
To play Murdoch, Jason Sudeikis.
Nice.
To play B.A. Baracus, because this is going to be written and developed for Paramount Plus with Taylor Hanson, is going to be LaMonica Garrett as B.A. Baracus.
Oh, sweet.
And then the leader of it as Hannibal is going to be your boy Jeff Bridges.
So, this is obviously going to be ran by Taylor Sheridan.
I think I said Taylor Hanson.
You did. Yeah. Oh my gosh! I really want to see a Taylor Sheridan A-Team now.
Could you imagine it just be serious as hell?
So perfect in his world.
Absolutely. But again, and since he's known for using, and again, I just love. By the way, I did a little Googling on LaMonica Garrett to steal another couple seconds. In the 90s and early 2000s, there was this independent basketball league called Slam Ball. And LaMonica Garrett was a slam ball basketball player. Really? That's where that physique comes from. He's an athlete who can act his behind off, right? But you'll see the photos, he's got no facial hair. So it's just like, and he's got an afro. So it's like totally flipped the look. But it's like, wait, that's LaMonica Garrett. But yes, so Taylor Sheridan, please give us A-Team again. You're going to give us Ashton Kutcher as Face, Jason Sudeikis as Murdoch, LaMonica Garrett, who is, I just want anything with LaMonica Garrett in it, so we're going to have it B.A. Baracus. And then Jeff Bridges is going to be Hannibal, because I love it when a plan comes together, my friend.
That is correct. Also, quick shout out, the new Daryl Dixon show comes out today, too.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So
I might watch that tonight because I think on Prime it said you can stream the first episode. So
I think so too. I think I'll probably hit it up tonight too. If I can get away from Grey's freaking Anatomy.
Dude,
But that's
dude,
another story. Because here's my happy face.
that may be a reason for you to have a man cave just right there.
Right?
Like, just got to run the cable down to the basement, bro.
Yes. All right. Well, with that, you know what? Let's. I got a couple of "Am I the Assholes" I want to
Let's hit
go
it.
over right now.
Let's hit it.
So let's do that. This first one here is, and we'll be quick about it. I just want to get these out to the world and get some thoughts on it. All right. Am I the asshole for evicting my long-standing tenants?
I've had
38
long-standing tenants called children. So yes, no. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
I love it. All right. I, 38 female, bought a 4-bedroom house in a semi-rural Buckinghamshire when I was 23. It was a lovely big house, but the town was not fun for a 23-year-old. I always said I'd love it if I were 40 with kids. I'm reading this how I see it, guys.
No worries. Do what you can do.
But it wasn't a great place for someone in their 20s. When I was 26, I put the house on a rental market and moved to London, where I lived for 2 years before moving to Australia. I found a lovely family to rent the house, a husband and wife, both in their mid to late 40s, with 1 child, no pets, and respectable jobs. Rent was always paid on time. The estate agent always had good reports from inspection visits, and we never heard any complaints from neighbors. Fast forward 14 years later, they're still living there. I've been traveling the world full time for some years. Spent the pandemic in Australia, then I resumed traveling post lockdowns. I'm now ready to return home. So I informed my estate agent that I want to break the contract and have them move out in 3 months' time. 2 months more notice that I'm obligated to give. The tenants were surprised to hear I was coming back and tried to ask if I was coming to live with my family. The agent brushed off the question and told them to vacate in 3 months and that they can help find alternative accommodation. Tenants texted me directly to ask same question, and I replied, haha, no husband or kids in tow, just ready to set roots again. Looking forward to being home. I grew up 20 minutes away. I got a text calling me selfish for kicking them out of their home of nearly 15 years, wanting a big house all to myself, placing my needs of travel and enjoyment ahead of starting a family and getting married. They told me I should leave them to buy the house for what I bought it for. It's doubled in price since. And go live in my other house. Okay. I replied, you can dictate in a house that you own, not one that I own. Please have your things packed by X date, or I'll evict you and sue you for the costs. My friends are saying I'm kicking them out of their home, and I don't need such a big place, so I can rent or sell my student flat for a deposit for a house nearby. My rented house is 90% paid though, and I don't want to start again with a new mortgage. I want to live in my house. I have been fair to the tenants and reasonable in my request. Am I the asshole for evicting my long-standing tenants? Brian, what are your thoughts?
So first off, this sounds a little bit like the plot of The Money Pit. If you remember that one, they're
Yeah,
just
it
hanging
does.
out. You're like,
Love that
oh,
movie.
you gotta go.
A movie that should be
He's here.
redone.
Another potential reboot, right? Okay, so so that one you got to get like Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. Like here, they do everything else together. They can do Money Pit. Okay, so here's my thought about now. Number one, to be fair, I cannot imagine if you lived in. I've lived in my house now for just about 15 years as well. So this is my house. But the reality of it is, whether you rent it for 6 months, 1 year, 15 years, 50 years, you're renting. And one of the things that comes with it, right, wrong, and different, it is not yours. It can feel like yours all you want it to be, but when you're renting, it is not yours. Even where I live, I like to say it's my house. The bank still got a few more years. I got to pay them some money. but it's not their home. Now, with this individual that they're talking about, they gave him 3 months notice. And a lot of the things that I heard that they were saying was, hey, you don't need a house this big, or hey, you came out for their home, or sell your flat. So now this is in England. Sell your flat, put a deposit down. I totally get it that if they don't want to start over, and why should you? Are they the asshole? No, that's the easiest part of this. Everybody I'm sure is in their feelings, and you do feel bad. Your heart goes out for some individuals that have lived at XYZ location for the past 15 years. Now they got to find a place. They are giving them 90 plus days in 3 months. And again, not living there, I'm sure the housing market, like anything else, is expensive. You got to plan it, but giving them 90 days to look, find, relocate. And in all honesty, probably if they wouldn't have kind of already been a little bit of bratish, maybe they could have negotiated maybe even up to 6 months. But legitimately, is a person the asshole? Absolutely not. Because towards the tail end of the blog is really just talking about it is, it's their house. They own it. They don't want to start over. They're cool giving them 3 months notice. At some point, you just have to go, it is what it is, what it is. And I don't find that this person is the asshole. And in fact, they're doing a great job, but not engaging when they're getting attacked by the current tenants and by honestly some of their friends. It sounds like they're saying you are being the asshole. So they're being not only not the asshole, they're being very much the adult in this situation.
I agree, man. It would be interesting to know if they lived at the place for 15 years, if they ever brought up the fact, hey, can I buy this from you?
100%.
I've been here forever. You haven't been here. What kind of deal would you like to strike up?
Yep,
and especially if it was made clear, like, no, I'm not interested in selling. It's my rental. Like, thanks for renting it out for the last 15 years, but it's mine. Now it's time for you to go.
Well, the old joke is when it comes to housing, you're always paying someone's mortgage, your own or someone else's, right?
Yeah.
So, and after 15 years, I'm sure it's one of those things that you go, hey, we lived for 15 years. Maybe they're not going to ask us to leave. But the other side of it is, we lived there for 15 years. What if they do ask us to leave? We really have put in roots here. And over 15 years, you can't tell me there probably had not been the opportunity to at least ask, would you be willing to sell? Can we do these sorts of things? But waiting until they go, hey, I want you out in 3 months. That's not the time to ask that question to start that conversation, because we're already too far down the pipe. But no, the person is not an asshole.
I think the tenants are. I'm not going to lie. Tenants are.
They're turning that way. They're turning that way 100%. They're 100%.
All right. Are you ready for the second story?
Let's do it.
All right. This one is called, Am I the Asshole for Keeping My Uncle's Money Because I Was Promised I Would Not Have to Babysit? This summer, my family and my uncles got together in my grandmother's timeshare in Orlando to go to Disney World and Universal Soldiers. Soldiers. Universal.
Van Damme was there. Was Van Damme there?
Man, he had he had Dolph Lundgren's ear necklace on there the entire time.
Was it the return where we got Goldberg just hanging out?
Oh, that would have been awesome. And it could have been the made for TV sequels. There was 6 of them.
Yeah. Universal Soldier.
Didn't it have the guy from Step by Step in it?
It did.
And dude, that dude still looks pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, he kept him in shape.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the Universal Soldier. That's
right.
All right. Let's go back to are they an asshole for keeping the uncle's money?
All right. Only if Van Damme's got a bunch of white stuff under his nose. Okay.
Wait, the muscles from Brussels. Yeah.
All right. Let's try this again.
By the way, if you're hanging out with Dolph Lundgren, there's probably a chance. So you're saying
he's smarter than Bill Nye.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. Did you know he has more degrees than Bill Nye?
Yes.
Which is
Dolph Lundgren is brilliant.
He is a brilliant man. Awesome.
Did you? And you probably already know this, but the actress that Danica McClure, who played Winnie Cooper on, not only has her doctorate, but she actually has created different mathematical theorems that are named after her, and she's written some books. And she also was on an episode of Lego Masters, and Kevin Arnold, you're an idiot that didn't work out long term.
And she's winning. I mean,
She's Winnie. Winnie or Winnie. I think we've had some discussion on the show before. Winnie or Topanga, my friend.
Winnie.
I might go Topanga. I might go.
I mean, Topanga's more fun to
Yeah.
say, but I mean,
but
Winnie
Topanga's
and
more fun
Winnie.
to.
I mean, it's just too close, man.
My response are gonna say Winnie's more fun to say, Topanga's more fun to do. But anyway, and
All right. this I am an asshole just trying to take over what you're doing. All right.
Danielle
All right.
Official.
Yep.
All right, continue.
You come on. Am I the asshole for keeping my uncle's money because I was promised I would not have to babysit? This summer, my family and my uncles got together in my grandmother's timeshare in Orlando to go to Disney World and Universal Studios. I wanted to go to Cape Canaveral. Man, this person can't spell. While we were there too.
You typically can't, by the way. Whenever you read these, folks, these are a challenge. I've read a couple of these, thinking about maybe for the show.
Yeah.
Typically, these are not well written, so you're doing your level best, bro.
And I don't actually read them. I picked just by title. So
gotcha.
As soon as I found out my uncle was coming, I told my parents I would not be babysitting for him on my vacation. They promised me I would not have to do that. First 2 days were great. I got to have fun at Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Day 3 was Epcot, and my aunt and uncle started having a few drinks. My parents asked me to watch my cousins. I said, no, thanks. I was promised I would not have to babysit. My uncle pulled out a wad of cash and gave me $300. I was more than happy to babysit for the day. It happened 2 more days. I watched my cousins 3 days and made $950. I used the money to have fun with the kids. I spent a little of it to get them snacks and drinks. Our meals were paid for by our parents. I took 1 day for myself and went to Kennedy Space Center. I had saved up my own money for the visit, but now I had cash. I paid for the VIP experience. It was amazing, and I highly recommend it. I also bought souvenirs I would not have had money for otherwise. I got a lightsaber and a droid and a wand at Universal. It turned out to be a pretty good vacation after all. On the way home, my father said I had played my joke long enough and to give my uncle his money back. I said, she's gone, and pointed at my souvenirs. I honestly wondered where he thought I got the money to buy everything I wanted.
Right.
He went and told my uncle that I spent it all. I actually still had $200, but I wasn't going to mention it. Well done. My mom told my dad that I had earned that money and that they had broken their promise to me that I would not have to babysit. My uncle is upset with me for keeping the money, and my father thinks I was greedy for taking advantage of the situation. I think he means I tricked his drunk brother.
Right?
First of all, lady, okay, I'm sorry. Am I the asshole for keeping my uncle's money because I was promised I would not have to babysit? You know what?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
You're
First
my hero
off,
today.
First off, you officially can do any negotiations on behalf of the podcast because you're shrewd. You're shrewd. But of course, you're not the asshole. Okay. First off, you don't mix alcohol and money. They broke the promise, and to the person they're writing it, how did they think they bought all the souvenirs? I like that the mom had her back. Like, this is basically how this worked out. So no, they are not the asshole. And by the way, the choice in souvenirs was fantastic. The wand, the lightsaber.
You're welcome
droid.
on the podcast anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just found, if we ever need a third host, I think we just found one. But no, absolutely. This was definitely easier than the first one. It's not even that you're not the asshole. Hell no. You're not the asshole. And your uncle and honestly your dad are being the assholes when it comes to this one. So no, good on you, writer of the blurb. Absolutely, you are not the asshole.
Unless you're the uncle or dad or whoever specifically said, I want all the change back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If they hand you a wad of cash because now you're having to work on your vacation,
right?
And you specifically said you didn't want to do that, and It's not your responsibility. It's not your kids.
And they're basically forcing you to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, flip a $300. You still gotta go do stuff. You just gotta watch the kids.
Yep.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. But
That's
you
just
can't
being
get mad.
smart. That's just
Yeah.
honestly being smart. So yeah, and again, the things that you just need to have be, simple and plain. And we're talking that kind of money. Like you said, I want to change back all this, all that. The fact that they let it go, and again, the person who wrote this, who had to do all the things, they're just smart, they're just shrewd, and I appreciate the mentality of it. And so sometimes we gotta learn the lesson the hard way, and I think Uncle and Dad just learned that lesson the hard way.
I agree with that. Anything else you want to say in regards to Emma the asshole?
Yeah, you're welcome to not babysit my kids anytime. So,
Nice.
and maybe Princess Leia can learn a few things there.
Right? I agree. All right. Well, hey, Brian, where can we find you?
As always, you can find me on the Book of Faces at Brian Stephen Dennis. Feel free to give me a like, give me a follow. Haven't been as active lately, but I'll be working on that. And as always, feel free. I try and keep it funny, try and make it a little bit weird.
You can tweet at me at Fandemic3 or X or whatever it's called now. Message me on the Book of Faces at The Fandemic. I'm also active on TikTok and Instagram at The Fandemic1. Hear my reviews and so much more. If you want to support the show, there are several ways you could do so. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TheFandemic. Find us on Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTN Fandemic. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-venge producer like Stacy, or yes, you could be part of the Council of Nerds, starting at about $5 a month. Become a monthly supporter like Stacy. You can, if you just want to flip me a couple bucks, I won't say no. That's PayPal or Venmo at Bradley Butin, or just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome.
In fact, you can pay us not to babysit your kids because they'll turn out like us.
And you know what? That's not a bad thing, because you know what? Our awesome levels are pretty freaking high.
In fact, if you let us babysit your kids, we can guarantee they will not watch Grey's Anatomy.
That is a fact.
We can't guarantee they won't be a box come from underneath the bed, but we will guarantee there will be no Grey's Anatomy.
No Greys. And that actually might end up being the title of this episode. No Greys.
Except for Kate Walsh. She can hang out.
Yeah. There's a couple in there.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe she'll get us a little suitcase and we can go back in time. Dig it? Umbrella Academy. See what I'm picking up?
Nice. Yes, I agree. All right. Well, thank you for leveling up my awesome and being a part of the Fandemic family. Brian, I think we are at max levels of awesome for the week.
We have buried the needle yet again.
What are your words of wisdom?
Well, as always, I want to thank you for joining us for the best part of our week. Thank you for maximizing your awesome. And again, thank you for letting us bury the needle on the awesome sauce we deliver each and every week with a sizzling amount of shade and humor. So with that being said, as always, please enjoy your week. Remember, no retreat, no surrender, and Goonies never say die.
Remember, friendship is like peeing on yourself. Everyone can see it, but only you get the warm feeling that it brings. If cauliflower can become pizza, then you, my friend, can do anything. If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. And last but not least, squirrels' cheeks are also their nut sacks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.